So, Sean, first of all, I'll say thank you for catching up. I'm really excited to continue to do this each month. And today's interviews are really talking about to a number of our newer people in the organisation. So for you, I almost remember our first conversation very vividly about 18 months ago.
It was a roadshow.
Yes. Yeah. Do you remember what happened? Can you tell everyone what you actually did?
What led me to here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I had come away from selling businesses.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long story. It was a legal battle with someone in America that did the wrong thing by me, and I was a pretty broken man when I came in through these doors. But before I got through the doors, I had sent off my resume, and I think it got lost in a sea of other resumes.
Yes, it was in a pile sitting on my desk. Yeah, I won't lie, and I hadn't got to it yet.
Yeah.
And you showed me probably one of the things you always look for as a recruiter is initiative and desire, and you caught me right at the right time.
Yeah, so that was the second part of it. So I realized quickly that wasn't working in the sea of masses, which I can relate to. When I was doing internet dating, I didn't do very well online, but when I got in person and speed up, I realized I'm better in the flesh. So anyway, I drafted.
Is that what your wife tells you?
No, in hindsight, yeah. So I drafted up a questionnaire. I just finished my real estate studies, and I looked at it for hours, and I tweaked it, and then it read, and I probably can say it verbatim. My name is Sean. I've just finished my real estate studies. I was hoping to reach out for someone that I admired in the industry to give me some pointers at best in the position. If you had 5 minutes to give me of your time, I'd be grateful for that. And I thought to myself, if I can't get good at cold calling, I'm not going to do very well.
That's the line that stood out for me. You said something along those lines exactly. I remember it saying, if I can't call you and get your attention and ask you some great questions, then I may not. I may not be good at this. Moving forward. So, and you literally caught me as I finished a game of golf. And I had 50 minutes to drive home, and I'm like, talk to me. I think we literally talked the whole way. I reckon it felt like it was at least a half an hour. So you had a great first initial impression, which was awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think one of the things I was able to identify too was that I understood it was going to be a hard graft for 18 months, and I was willing to just run on base entry level. I had a lovely supportive wife that has helped me through that stage. So I think that resonated with you too, to know that I wasn't a sort unsure or whatever you want to say, but I knew well that I was getting.
Well, you're supported, because it's an important criteria that's always a sensitive one to understand with new people is, I don't think I sugarcoated it with you, I hope, when we first met. I sort of told you the warts and all and how difficult and challenging this industry is, but in the same breath, how rewarding it can be, providing you put in the effort. And when I met you, it had been a while, and I do a lot of interviews throughout the year, and I hadn't sat down with someone for a very long time that had showed me work ethic to the extent that you demonstrated. And you did it in a way that was very organic and very natural, but it certainly resonated with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I went, because what we're working on here is we can teach someone real estate. We feel like we've been refining those processes for some time. But we can't psychologically prepare someone for real estate. And your life skills, I mean, you're not a typical candidate. I didn't envisage a young 40-year-old strapping Irishman coming into our organisation, but right?
54.
Yes, I know. But a 54-year-old gentleman starting his real estate career is not a typical scenario, right, that you would see. And you've taught me a lot in that.
Wow.
Absolutely. So we could talk all day, but I'll get into some. We've got 4 questions that we'll get through. But what I will say is that the reason you're sitting here with me is because when we started this business just on 2 years ago, we had a very important, one of our first strategic meetings after, I think we opened the business in October of 23. And in January, all of us partners went away for 2 days, and we just talked strategically about some of the key milestones and things that we wanted to focus on, particularly around people. And one of them was, the key one that is still a pillar of our business is we want to actually grow people from the ground up. We want to recruit people that have had tremendous success somewhere else and show them what they can do within this industry. And you're a byproduct of that. And I really want to share that story and make people aware of how far you've come in a short amount of time. That's really impressive. So thank you, because when you commit to that strategy 2 years ago, you have to. There's a long journey to make sure it doesn't happen overnight. Is what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
And thank you for showing us that it works. Really,
thank you for letting me the door.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna get a bit emotional here, Shawnee, but
I did in the interview. I remember.
Yeah. So you amongst I think there's 6 at the moment within this organisation who you're now a real estate agent. You're no longer a Michelin-starred chef. You're no longer a broker of business. You no longer run salad bars.
Yep.
You're a real estate agent. So, and that's the next chapter of your life. So you can introduce yourself as that now, which is kind of nice, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think those skills did transfer across. And I think that's where you identified. I think one of the main things that I took from what you were seeing in me was, and I compliment myself in saying that there was a lack of ego there in saying,
massive humility.
If I could apply those skills that I always worked at the top level. Unfortunately, in hospitality, that requires 80, 90 hours a week with 10 bipolar alcoholic lunatics.
So, pretty similar to real estate agents, really, but that's okay.
It is, yeah, nights, long weekends and stuff like that. So I guess, but being around the best of the best was something I was used to. So that endeavor to get stuck in for 18 months with the best of the best was very calculated for me. So with that journey, there's uncomfortable moments, but understanding that the people around me have my best interest, like we always say,
you did our typical 2-step induction process. You went within a team. And now you've stepped out on your own only recently at the start of the year, which was again a strategic decision we made together. This isn't in the questions, but I think it's important to know. How did you find that? How did you find those initial sort of 6 months and working within a team
at the very beginning? I'd been through a lot that I knew what I was getting myself into. I'd been around high level performers, like I said, in a different industry. So my ego got me a lot of trouble when I was younger. I wanted to be the best and the best, and that was pretty dangerous. So to take a step back and realize that everything that was being told to me was what I'd asked for to get my backside kicked for 18 months. So I never took it personal that I failed. I guess if I was being talked like that in the kitchen, it might be a different scenario. But because I was in a new industry, I trusted the people that were telling me was not to nitpick at me, but was to make me better. And that's fundamental.
That's an element of maturity too. And we always say around here, it's rude not to be rude.
True.
We're not abusive in nature, I hope, but certainly we're really clear in expectations and directions and measurement and what's required, and we hopefully empower you to get on with it and get it done.
I have a firm belief if you're putting your defense mechanism up to defend your ego, the information is not actually entering your head.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, valid point. Let's get to the questions, because I'm conscious the poor blokes filming this are going to fall asleep with us, but they'll be all right. First question, Shawnee, and it's probably a good segue to everything we've been talking about. What initially drew you to this industry, and why do you feel like you chose Jealous Craig as a place to work?
So in the hospitality, like I said, I love the creativity of it. I love meeting people. I love thinking on my toes. It was when I thought of something that I could transfer those skills across to, but I wasn't as reliant on 10 other people like apprentices and stuff. I figured I can't control the vendor and I can't control the buyer, but what I can control is my work output.
Control the controllables,
That's kind of an entrepreneurial spirit in me that thought this is somewhere where I'm going to be rewarded. So that ticked the box in saying, okay, real estate will fill that void. I'd already sold businesses, so I got an idea. That's a different gig. You can be holding the business by the hand for 14 months. It's a hard gig. And not a lot of emotion. It's more fact and figures. So transferring those skills across into real estate seemed like a normal thing. I'm good with people. My hospitality background led me to be hospitable by nature, welcoming and genuinely wanting to help people. So I figured I was a bit naive about what was involved in it, the journey that was ahead of me, but I just got stuck in and I figured if anyone can do it, I can. So,
and you did. Congratulations. And I can't wait. This is just the start of your journey. So we'll do this again in 12 months' time and see how you go. And I'm looking forward to that. This one's a really important question for me because I really want to get your take on this. What do you think are the most important qualities that a new agent should have when starting out in our industry?
Yes. One that will bounce off the pages I wrote down was grit. Grit is essential. People don't think, they think it's polished and they go around the suit and the fancy car. It's grit. You need grit to believe it. The second, personally, I believe in a sea of not so authentic people is authenticity.
Yeah.
I think the authenticity is really important.
Yeah.
People relate to that. So coming into this industry at 54, I had a fresh energy that I had in hospitality. And people felt that. I feel some agents 30 years in are just ticking boxes and probably not as welcome as they should be.
Yeah.
That's secondly. Thirdly is the genuine want to help people. If that's innate in you, then I think
the rest takes care of itself, eh?
I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, credit to you, man. One of the last, actually probably the next question is relevant to that, because I remember as part of your induction, I subtly turned up to a number of your opens and just to experience how you conducted yourself as your brand, your trademark out there. And the thing that stood out for me, without you even realizing it or maybe even being aware of it, is when you were at an open for inspection, I wanted to hang out with you. Like the energy that people had around you and the genuine nature in which you were just there to service everyone. Straight away, I could tell within weeks that, you were going to have a tremendous career, because people were naturally just gravitating to you. And as a result, now it's testament to you, because you've actually fostered a number of relationships that are now coming back to you. I think this week alone, I think I've seen 2 or 3 listings come in with your name on them. So that should just be a weekly occurrence for you now, which is awesome.
That's moving.
Yeah, it is. It's brilliant, mate. So, and that's the next question is, how involved are you with a lot of the property opens, and what does that process look like for you, like in terms of client facing and what do you really focus on?
Yeah, I think, if I can ramble here for 10 seconds, my name is actually McGillivray, and that is the son of the servant.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. There you go. Say it again.
McGillivray.
Yeah, right.
I learned this right in the obituary from my father.
Yeah.
He was a farmer who got into hospitality, wanted me to get into hospitality.
Yeah.
And in writing his obituary, I've dissected that. It was the son of the servant of saying, Bridget. And that, to me, is fundamental in my hospitality background.
Yeah.
Which is a hard gig to keep that face up. So my point is, I guess the first step when people come through the door, I like to be in my opens. I hear some agents, as soon as they arrive at the front door, number, like, it's just so crude. You taught me giving before you receive.
Yes, yeah.
And my first things, I'm Sean, so my name, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Would you like to take a brochure?
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
There's a fact sheet on the table. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Yeah.
Can I please get your name and number? It's a little bit more gracious.
Yeah.
Number, head down and check in.
So it's subtle, isn't it? But it's important. I'm amazed at how many people maybe lose track of how important running a great open for inspection is.
Yeah, I've had people come and pick me because of that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and I can see that. It's. I see a lot of our team spend day after day after day, trying to generate leads and opportunity, and open for inspections is naturally where a lot of them hang out.
Yeah,
and it's your ability to do, to present yourself in the best light.
You can't be doing that with one up your sleeve and you think someone's in real estate mode. You got to do that subconsciously for everyone that walks through the door.
It's very true.
You welcome them to the house, and you got the responsibility to vendor you're serving to honor who's coming through the door too. So and then I'll even joke, people coming through would say, if you're in the system already, and they might go taken back, I'll say, we know what you had for breakfast. Just a little lightheartedness. It's just different. It is. It's a stressful day for them. So
totally. Yeah. Well done, because that part of your business, amongst other things, is flourishing. So, and just like you said, I think it's innate in you. So it's awesome to see. Final question before we move on. This is, I think, really important one, because we've all been here. How do you keep motivated and focused during those days when the business feels slow and uncertain?
Yeah, we do a lot of training in the office. A lot of people come in to inspire us, and you take a little 1% from each one. But one of the main ones that I remember, and I always say this about it, you get credit for it, was the Roger Federer video.
Oh, yes.
And it was stat, I'm regurgitating stats now, but I think it was, he only ever won 46% of his points, but won 80% of his matches. So I think of it, I'm very visual. So I think of it all the time whenever I have a fail. Can I dwell on that fail and ruin my energy for the day? Or can I bounce back up again and not take it personal? But more importantly, can I learn from it and dissect it without going down too much of a rabbit hole to find out, well, maybe what went wrong and what can I improve?
Self-reflection, really important skill. Ability to self-assess is crucial, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, dropping the ego. But I guess at the end of the day, if you've taken the 1%ers and improved upon it, which I mightn't have made money that day in my pocket, but I've planted the seed to make money. Or I've improved my systems, more importantly.
Yeah.
That when the business does come, and it will come, then I have a system in place that can harness it, as opposed to fine-tuning those harness systems when the business does hit me.
Yeah.
So using those downtime days to just take something small from it in a positive step and just keep pushing on. Like, as I say, a good comedian said, Rome wasn't built in a day, and then he paused for a second and he said, "Have you been there? It's still not built."
That's guy, man. I love it. And the simple thing I think for you is that action is the cure.
Yeah.
When you're feeling down, and I see that from you every day. I walk around. I talk about the temperature in our business and the energy that you feel when you walk into it. It's unspoken, and you're a huge contributor to that. Like, I can feel your behaviour, your energy, and I feel that resonating through the place. And
thank you.
And that goes a long way. When I might sometimes check in on you, and you might have just lost one, for example, or whatever the scenario might be, and within 15 minutes you're bouncing back, ready to service the next person.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah,
I can procrastinate. I want things to be.
You're an overthinker, but that's okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you put me into gear for that too, but not in a crude way. It's for my own benefit, and I'm man enough to fess up to it when that's the situation. But it's a great environment. That's all I can say. So,
well done, mate. Thank you. You don't have to hang out with me any longer, but thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You and I could sit here and talk all day, no doubt, but you're probably going to go and help someone else shortly. So thank you so much. Awesome. And thank you. I will give you credit. Word on the street, when I was picking everyone's brain, so give me a name for a podcast. That was all you. And hopefully it resonates and hangs around a little bit longer. And the people that we're looking to talk to are other agents in the industry. So apart from being on socials, this will be hitting into their inboxes, and hopefully they get a sense of who you are as a person, and the industry can learn a lot from you. So thanks so much, and look forward to getting through winter together.
Thank you for awesome. Good, mate.
Thanks, bud.